Hello, Bible readers. It's Wednesday, January 13th. We're reading from 1 Kings 1 and 2, and John chapter 9, 1 through 41, and John 10, 1 to 21. Sorry for missing yesterday. I've had technical difficulties. I'm combining John 9 with today's post and the Psalms from yesterday. I'm just going to let you have read those on your own. I'm trying not to skip things, but lots to say about today's readings. First Kings 1 and 2. It's going to cover 400 years from the death of David to in the 10th century to the release of Judah's exiled king Jehoiachin in the 6th century. It starts with Solomon, his many accomplishments, his great reputation, but also his terrible precedent for allowing other gods into the life of Israel and Judah. Uh, Kings, the book of Kings, conveys confidence that God's will is being worked out. Uh, and it's being worked out in the interplay of divine will and human wills, much like we've read in other books, Chronicles, and other places as well. We're going to see how God's will interacts with, is opposed to, but pushes along the stories of God's people as well. One sentence that I saw in my commentary that I thought was good: divine purposefulness in the messiness of history. That makes me feel better about the current times we live in. God always has the final say, is basically what Kings is going to be about. That there is a one and two, that there is a first and second Kings, is an arbitrary thing. Originally, it's one work. It's history, but not the kind of history we have in the 21st century. It's the kind of history that we've found elsewhere in Scripture. It's history with an agenda, with a particular slant to it. Um, in chapters 1 and 2, we read about the death of David, the succession of Solomon, and how power gets consolidated by Solomon. We're kind of getting through the who and the what and moving toward more why. Okay, John chapter 9 and chapter 10. This is where one commentary said that it's called Jesus and the Tabernacles Part 2, because really it is connected to the last couple chapters as Jesus has been in debate with Pharisees and other law leaders. This part, chapter 9 and chapter 10, are getting into the growing blindness of the Pharisees. John, the author, gets at this by talking about this man born blind. You might remember in the Gospel of Mark, blindness was a metaphor, not only in Mark, but blindness was a metaphor that Mark used to really make it obvious to those who are reading. This is about seeing who Jesus is, because really seeing becomes believing. We're going to see as I talk more about this belief does not come from knowledge or fact. Uh, Belief does not come from knowledge and fact. Belief comes from seeing who Jesus really is. Um, we also see in John chapter 9, first of all, it's a funny story. There's real humor here as the guy's like, you wanna hear it again about how I got healed? Um, there's a theology here, though, that God cannot be credited with evil that befalls people. That's kind of the beginning, the foundational understanding. And then we see, like I just said, faith in Jesus is not going to come from facts. The Pharisees don't get this. They want more information. Where are you from? Who are you exactly? What do you do and how do you do it? Um, Faith is going to come from seeing who Jesus really is. For the Jews, their discipleship is based on knowledge. They want to know how. How. But the answer to their how is who. And that's what they haven't accepted. Um, then after chapter 9 into chapter 10, we've got the same audience for this Good Shepherd story as we had for chapter 9. It's really one connected piece. The Pharisees in this story are, the metaphor is that they are the thieves and the robbers. Um, there's big meaning and symbology in the idea of a shepherd, God being the people's shepherd, Jesus as the door. This is also a very John understanding of who Jesus is in relationship to God's people. Um, John's image of Jesus is the gate, that he is the way to pasture for abundant life. If the sheep are going to find a place to eat and be well, it is through that one gate. And so that's, yeah, I'm glad I caught us up in John. Um, I'll see you tomorrow. I am one with my God. My God is with us, all of us, at all times and in all places.